Okay, folks, 9 o'clock Sunday night UK time. Can mean only one thing. You know what I need from you. 10 taps. 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah, 1 to put a smile on my face. Let's do this. Come on. And let's do this. Greetings and salutations, good folk of Terrainia. It is I, Lamel. Lamenting. I'm lamenting Lamel. How are you, folks? Have you had a good weekend? I've had a 50-50 weekend myself. I had a great Saturday and I've had a bit of a rough Sunday. Corbyn has given me the lurgy. Yeah? Now, on a really positive note, normally in the past with the old health and that sort of stuff, yeah, just a simple cold would knock me off my feet. Today? Well, just take a bit of a slow day. Take it easy. Yeah, jump on the stream with you guys and then straight back at it tomorrow. So, I am a happy chappy. Now, before I go into what I've been up to, what have you been up to this week? What have you been making? What you've been working on? Come on, chat. Let me know. Blame kids. Always blame kids. Children are like little disease bags. You know? They just go around spreading germs. Oh, things are buzzing. That'll be the kids. Or the girlfriend. Now, I am pretty sure that we are being monitored. And when I say we're being monitored, what I mean is, the kids are watching. I'm damn sure there's a willow floating around in the chat. Right. Paul's working on some simple edges. Always a good inclusion. Yeah. Tam's still painting some TT Combat terrain. Nice. Not played with the TT Combat stuff, to be perfectly honest. My phone's buzzing like crazy. Been making some more little Tactica tuk-tuk. What's a tuk-tuk? I need to know where a tuk-tuk is now. What's a tuk-tuk? Justy, tuk-tuk marketing, images. Oh! A tuk-tuk's one of those little like Asian little like cab wagons, you know, like the three-wheeler bikes with a cab on the back. Didn't they call it? Haven't the Dutch got like a combat tuk-tuk? I'm pretty sure I saw on Facebook, but a combat tuk-tuk. Yes, oh my god. That's it. The Danish assault tuk-tuk. Can I put that on this? Will it go on? I wonder if I can actually share that image. I'll probably get done for copyright. I can't. Right. I've been making some more tactical tuk-tuk. Tactical. They're brilliant. Yeah, I've been making some based on werewolves for Silver Bayonet last night. Not heard of Silver Bayonet. And assembling room buildings today. Buzzing Plague Kids. Yep. Discovered a new hobby shop and picked some paints up for the missus. That's always brilliant. Have you heard my phone buzzing? This is my children harassing us. Yeah, because they're not part of this stream. Yeah, insane saying kids are poisonous. Yeah, they are. They're toxic. From the moment they're born, yeah, they emit these sort of toxic like vibes which slowly turn you grey. They drain it out of you. My kids will be giving me brutal now. It'll be buzzing like crazy. Callisto is mainly painting trolls. I haven't painted trolls in ages. Hey up, Jez. How are you doing, mate? It's a rare visit from our Jez, which means he must be on the break from doing something he can't tell us about. Yeah, but we'll find out what he's been up to in probably about 6 months. Did it involve hobbits? Can't take it any more than that. Learning ATTing programming for LED light effects. Alright, that sounds like pretty brutal. Oh god. There's another YouTuber on the stream. Yeah, a Twitch streamer in fact. Yeah, I'd like to introduce the stream to Minecat. Yeah, more commonly known as The Wills. Oh, I am nailing milk tonight. Right, today. Evolution engagement. It's a motorbike taxi. Yeah. CJ's been working away on his orcs, plugging away. Horde armies, eh? Right. Not's been working on Colosseum 4 footage barriers from Ramshackle Games. Nice. And 40k Nerf guns. Always meant to do something like that. All the stuff saying it was him, that what you call it, who uploaded the picture. That was brilliant, the Combat Tuk Tuk. Craig's busy designing and cutting orders. That's a good thing. Let me address the children, because my WhatsApp's going crazy. My daughter's calling. My daughter's giving me grief because, like, my camera's apparently quite blurry, and she's taking the mick out of me being bald and shiny. Cheers, Wills. Right. B-Mods is building a big, joining two together, TT Combat Orc Fortress door. TT Combat clearly got quite a bit of terrain now. I need to check them out. Tam's been messing and fine-tuning a 3D printer. I need to get mine rolling. There's stuff for the Burma build I need. Winsome Willow. Be good to your dad. He's magnificent. Yeah, chance will be a fine thing, won't it? Jez saying, I bloody wish it involved hobbits. I'd love to get back on that, though. Last year, dropped its trailer a couple of days back. Willow series from Lucasfilm. Really, Jez? You were off doing Willow? And you didn't tell us? Right. Now, since my daughter Willow is in the is in the room, I'd like to make a little correction. Yeah, I've actually got wrong her entire life. We've always told Willow that no, she wasn't named after the dwarf in the film Willow. Yeah, and because we've always said the dwarf wasn't called Willow. The baby was called Willow anyway. Turns out the dwarf in Willow is called Willow. Sorry, Wills. Will you be quiet, young lady? I am muting you, Wills. Enough. She's moderating me by WhatsApp. And I've got Corbin giving me grief now. This is enough. Excuse me, folks. Right. Gary, you got skipped over. Now, our terrain questions. I know you got skipped over because Willow actually messaged me to say I skipped over your question. So, where's Gary's question? Completely derailed. I can't. My chat won't scroll up. You get. Right. We'll catch up with questions in a second. I haven't actually caught the Willow trailer, to be truthful. So, I must admit, I am looking forward to it. And now I know Jez was part of it. I've got to watch it. Willow's saying I'm named after butter. He's lying. You're not. You're named after the witch out of Buffy. Patrick saying Ewoks coming to Star Wars Legion. Are you telling me that there haven't been Ewoks in Star Wars Legion yet? Really? Oh, Tam's saying the Google Doc isn't open. That might explain things. Right. The Google Doc is now open. If you've got any terrain questions, the link is down below in the description. Just go down, click the link, jump across to the Google Doc. You don't need to be logged in. Just enter your screen name and enter your terrain question. We'll jump on those in just 5-10 minutes. Oh, Clyde, thank you. Right. Clyde's got my attention with this question by literally like, yeah, you're going to read this one, boss. Yeah, I am. With the Outrima Kickstarter rolling out, ideas on some Middle Eastern homes in Holy Lands. Outrima Kickstarter. First, let's know what exactly we're talking about. Outrima Kickstarter. Oh, right. Battles in Jerusalem. Oh, pardon me. Right. Middle Eastern buildings. Foam board and DAS, mate. Foam board and DAS. Yeah. Middle Eastern dwellings. Yeah. Keep them low level. Keep them boxy. Courtyards. But the trick is to build all your actual buildings out of like foam board. And then basically get DAS. Yeah. DAS air drying clay. Roll it nice and thin. Wet it. Then apply it. Yeah, and cover it like a covering, yeah, over all of it. Yeah, and what will happen is the DAS will shrink and it will dry and it will crack and that'll give you crack textures. And once it's dried, you can then go in and start scratching off where like your mud plaster's falling off and you've got bricks underneath and that sort of stuff. That's the best way of doing it. Now remember, when you're painting and doing all those sort of colours, you want light colours, you want to stick with dry brushing. You don't want to use washes on Middle Eastern buildings. Washes replicate sort of weathering through rainfall, yeah. Whereas really you want the dusty effect. So it's keep with dry dusting techniques. If you want to step it up, go with weathering powders over washes and stuff like that. Another thing is to remember that the buildings, yeah, can quite often have like wooden beams showing. They can be replicated quite easy with little bits of balsa wood. Just stuck on the outside and embedded into the plaster into the DAS while it's still wet. And because the buildings are quite simple and that sort of stuff, yeah, terrain garnish can really work well on stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? So barrels, boxes, you know, for something like Outrima, you can't really use like oil barrels and stuff like that. So you'd have to stick with wooden ones, all that sort of stuff. But dress the buildings and put the stuff in little corners so they don't impede gameplay. And you'll find that makes a massive difference, mate. Hope that helps you, buddy. If you've got anything more that you want to drill down on that, get it in the Google form, mate. Right. Questions are very slowly coming in. But I'll need more if you want a longer show. Oh. And I have nailed my milk and we're only 15 minutes in. Right. Knox is pointing out that technically Disney own both Star Wars and Predator. Yeah. And so you could see eWorks versus Predator. Yeah. Jez is saying polystyrene balls chopped in half are great for domes on Middle Eastern buildings and Tatooine. Well, Tatooine follows the Middle Eastern style because of where it was actually filmed. Palm trees. Palm trees, yeah. Awnings on buildings, crates, big jars. Awnings are a good way of going. That's quite popular. So come on, folks, let's build this up. In fact, I'm not saying I'm planning for a tutorial or anything. Just out of interest, what's the picture like tonight? Is it sharp or fuzzy or what? I don't know whether the kids... I don't know whether Willow's adjusted the camera or something with a sticky finger. And I'm blurry or what. Right, so Middle Eastern buildings, new notes. Bit fuzzy, bit okay. So I'm a bit fuzzy. Nothing new there. Not sharp, not too fuzzy. Shall we see if we can do something about it? Let's give it a quick nose. Right, focus is fine. I'll clean it up for the next show. Let's not mess around with that right now.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm gone. I was just saying my hellos.
Okay.
That's all.
Jez is saying for Outrima you can mix European fortifications too. Of course, you know, we did have, you know, the Crusaders did take across like medieval fortification techniques. And so you get this weird mix of old Arabic fortifications, you know, and you get the modern sort of, well, not modern? Perhaps modern's the wrong word to use. The medieval sort of fortifications from, what do you call it? Now, haven't Baron's War, what do you call it? Andy Hobday brought out some really nice terrain. Evening, Andy. So, let's go medieval ideas. Medieval, Middle East. Right. Kingdom of Heaven, good reference. Heaven, yeah. Building ideas. Got the half domes, awnings. We had trapdoors on the roof, didn't we? Roof. What else did we have? Palm trees. Apparently Baron's War is doing a fortified hospital. Right, people say market stalls, wicker baskets, clay pots. Come on, let's brainstorm this. Market stalls, wicker. Wicker baskets, what else? Thank you, Gomi. What else? Wicker baskets, clay pots. Because they do like the jars and stuff like that. El Cid for references. That's another good one. Tell you what, we'll catch up on the references in the middle, yeah? And what I'll do is we'll get this information together and then we'll start a bit of a community post on the Terrainiacs group, you know, the support group. If you're not part of the Terrainiacs group, the links are down below. Yeah, and we'll sort of brainstorm all the stuff that you would put, yeah? Debris of War do some good value scatter terrain from medieval and Middle Eastern. That was it. Building ideas, we also got European fortifications. A bazaar, that's a market, isn't it? So market stalls, bazaar. Bazaars. Camel merchants, Hide tanning pits, yeah. I will give you 3 clump foliage for 1 camel. I suppose you've got to have tents, haven't you? I mean, you'd have Bedouin tents and stuff like that as well. Because where they're going to get the leather for the tanning from. So... fountains, wells and an oasis, yeah. An oasis. Baggage trains. Old war or siege engine remains. Yeah. Harems. If you want to include the models, mate, you probably could. Pink sand. I did a video on pink sand. Egyptian style temples. I suppose you could. Actually, I don't really know. I'll go Egyptian ancient. Because, I mean, we look at the Middle East and places like Jerusalem and stuff like that as like, okay, we know what it looks like. But actually, you know, there's a load of ancient temples, you know, carved into like the sandstone and stuff like around there. That, you know, are also, you know, that we don't sort of automatically associate with the Middle East. So... there's definitely possibilities there. Middle Eastern arches. I suppose I suppose Middle Eastern arches. Yeah, but on top of that, I suppose you've also got the situation of Middle Eastern architecture in general, because there's a style, isn't there? We'll have to start a proper group post on this. Templar castles. I like that one. Carpets, overhanging drapes. Mosques, of course. Moorish buildings. And animal-powered water wheels. Ooh! There's a whole Let's Make series here, isn't there? Animal-powered... water wheels. Right, we have got plenty of suggestions now. Okay, one quick blast on this before we move on. Yeah. What's your movie reference suggestions? We've got Kingdom of Heaven. We've got El Cid. What else? What would you recommend? What movies would you recommend for reference material? I'm interested to see where, because this is where it normally explodes when we start talking movies. Could go full of Assassin's Creed. Haystacks around every corner. Ben-Hur, Assassin's Creed, Aladdin. So, Ben-Hur. I've never played the Assassin's Creed games. And Aladdin's a good reference. I wouldn't have thought of that myself. The Wind and the Lion. Whoa, there's one. What else we got? This may be odd, but Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. All right, mate, you have properly thrown a tangent there, haven't you? I know it's from my youth, which we know was a while ago. Yeah, but I do not remember Mad Max from the Thunderdome having a Middle Eastern vibe. So if I'm missing something, which I probably am, 13th Warrior, that's a good one. Armed Templar, I haven't heard of that one. Prince of Persia, Indiana Jones, yeah. See, I knew there'd be tons. Indiana. Sands of Time, Scorpion King, The Mummy. All right, we're getting plenty now. So I reckon, yeah, off the back of that, there's a whole board there, isn't there? I mean, what have we done? I mean, we've got all our reference movies, yeah? Kingdom of Heaven, El Cid, Mummy, Prince of Persia, Indiana Jones, Wind and the Lion, 13th Warrior, Ben-Hur, Assassin's Creed, Aladdin, yeah? We've got a load of different building ideas from the general building structures and how to get the general structure and the little details to garnish it. You know, the awnings, the trapdoors, wicker baskets, clay pots, carpets. A couple of references towards, specific features, mosques, Arabian architecture and arches, water wells, encampments, all that sort of stuff. They're all good. There's definitely a let's make. There's definitely a let's make in that. Alright, I'm going to tell you what. If you want to see me do that as a let's make, because I could, that's quite a nice little series. If you'd like me to tackle that as a let's make, hit the like button. Because we ain't got much likes. Yeah? So, did it. And let me know in the comments, of course. Hey, this isn't good. I'm getting down to the last sips of milk. Aggro movie is you are looking for a combination of Greek North African. Stalls for your streets. Yeah, we've got market stalls. But yeah, I reckon there's a let's make there. The likes are coming in, that's for sure. So folks, I think we're on a bit of a winner there. Thank you, model stuff. So yeah, I think we can probably tackle a little bit of medieval work. Nightfall. Yeah, I know that one. Now, the thing is, I think I will... There's a lot of reference movies for me to watch there. I now know what I'm watching in the studio this next coming month. I think June is going to be medieval month, Middle Eastern month. What do you reckon? Right, we have absolutely hammered the Middle Eastern stuff. Right, I need to do a quick one and quickly check PayPal. I haven't shouted out anyone, and I'm not expecting anything because I haven't even said anything. Yeah, links down below if you're liking the show, folks. Yeah, we're good. I've not missed anyone. Bonus, every inch of it will be useful for a North African campaign for bolt action. That's very true. The Life of Brian. Yeah. Do it as a let's make, but variations for historic, World War II, and sci-fi. I suppose what we could do is we could do a general medieval let's make, yeah, and then I could do a vid on theming it. How would you twist this standard build for a more modern look, or for a sci-fi look? That's definitely something, we can do. But yeah, we can definitely tackle that. Right, we are half hour into the show, and so far we have tackled one question. Yeah, because he was smart enough to get my attention by, here, look at the screen, Mel, read this. You've got to read it. It's got a ding dong with it. I hope. You lot have been busy on the sly and with the Google Docs, haven't you? You really have. Right, folks. I've got 13 questions to answer. Yeah? Oh, Stargate. I've got an idea for that. Real good idea. Yeah. But I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it out. You were distracted. Right. If we have got 13 questions to tackle, and that includes what's coming in, then you're going to have to give me 30 seconds to nip to the kitchen, top up my milk. So, yeah. You remember, guys, I am a little bit lurgied, so I'm not in the best of shapes. Let me top up my milk. There we go. It is a bit fuzzy and bright, isn't it? That's better. June? Oh. Okay, before we tackle into that, I introduced the girlfriend to June. What do you call it? Yeah, last night. Not last night, night before, Friday night. Yeah, girlfriend was staying over, and she's into sci-fi and fantasy stuff, but she's not really into the hobby, and she doesn't know about all the other. So her only sci-fi is sort of like the mainstream Hollywood stuff that comes out. So it's like, right, I'll show you June. Now at the same time, I've bought June on Amazon Prime. The latest release. The 3 hour. Yeah, but it's only half the movie. They haven't released the second half yet. And so I introduced her to the first, the classic, and we've got that waiting, and I'm literally sitting. I started watching it, and I was about an hour into it, and I decided I'm not going to watch this anymore. Yeah, I'm going to wait until the second part comes out. Yeah, so it's the full 6 hours. Yeah, and I'm going to do it in one hit. Because it's a beautiful film. The cinematography is amazing. The special effects. You know what I mean? So, June's something a little bit special. You know what I mean? Right. Tell you what. Loads of notes. Bring us a coffee while you're there, mate. Make your own. Right. With the 80s, June, you get Spice Driver edit, Mel. Rusty's saying it's the only version I'll watch now. The latest one is beautiful. I mean, it's rare for me to sit back and go, no, I'm not going to watch this film because I want to wait until the second half comes out so I can watch it in one entirety. Yeah, JP's saying exactly the same. Yeah, Jez is saying I'm working with one of the lads that made the Atreides armour for June. No worries, Russ. Right, I have questions. Shall we? Right, folks, if you're liking the show, hit the links down below. Okay, Model Stuff is asking. Yeah, I reckon I'm going to be pretty good with these questions. Yeah, this one I've got nailed. How would you do jungle bases with plastic plant stuff? Now let me think. What's my jungle knowledge like? Have I worked with plastic plants recently? Right, first off, Model Stuff. Yeah, you need to go and check out my playlist called The Big Burma Build. Because there's a whole series on doing realistic jungles using plastic plants and stuff like that. But I'll run down with some key basic points for using plastic plants for doing jungle terrain. Okay? First off, aquariums. Yeah, aquarium plastic supplies. And then on top of that, yeah, things like the garden ornaments, the hanging balls, yeah, that you can hang up and stuff like that. They're really good. They're a really good source of the actual plastic plants because they're often made up of lots of individual, yeah, pieces put together along a substructure. So you can basically harvest them and you get quite small plastic plants. So always stick them in, in soapy hot water, give them a proper wash, give them a rinse off because there will be like mold chemicals and stuff on them.
I'm going out for an hour because it's only like 9:30.
Okay.
I didn't realise it until
You go meet Reese?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you coming back here?
Yeah. Not straight away, like, but yeah.
Alright. That's fine, lad. Yeah, so.
Take a seat, I'll put my shoes on.
Of course. Come crash the show, my son.
Yeah.
Ease the cub. Is it cold out?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gathering that with how you're wrapped up. Is it raining?
I don't know. I go just like this.
Right. So you're going up to Reese's, then you two guys are coming back down here?
Mitchell Park.
Right, okay.
It's only a couple minutes away, like.
Yeah. Alright, lad. Well, let me crack on with my show, dude.
I'm not stopping you.
Nothing changes, does it? But yeah, with plastic plants, give them a wash. They often have like production chemicals on them. Yeah. Fix them in place, obviously, with with hot glue is the best I've found for actually fixing them on your bases. And then the other thing that I find is, yeah, using an acrylic brown wash and just give them a quick wash over. Yeah. Matte medium and stuff like that works really well. It takes down the shine and it just gives them a little bit better definition. You know what I mean? But a wash on them really knocks them out. And just doing those few simple things will make a massive difference to how the plastic plants look and how realistic they are. Yeah, after that it starts to get a bit fancy. Yeah, and the real question is, do you want to, because you're talking about jungle and essentially a lot of these details are going to get lost. Right, son, have a good one.
Bye.
Yeah, love you.
Yeah.
Love you. Yeah. And because if you do lots of, this is what happens when you do the Sunday night from your living room on a Sunday night at home. Yeah. But just those, if you go down and you start doing really fancy stuff, which you can do, the problem is when, if you're doing a diorama, yeah, it's one piece, you can pull it off because people's focus is really sort of narrowed in. But when you're doing it for war games terrain, it really does, the details get lost, because, people look at the terrain and it looks good, but they're not really drilling down and focused on the terrain. They're focusing on the game and that sort of stuff. So you need to find a balance between how much work you want to put in to make it look realistic and really good, and how much is just going to be wasted effort. So I tend to find, the right materials, the right sort of plastic plants, yeah, fixed properly, cleaned, and then with just a simple wash on, that's pretty usually good enough for what you need to do. Hey Mel, when you're acting the Burma campaign, do you crack the central heating up right up to add to the ambience? Asking for a friend. Well, if I was really going to make it realistic, I'd just pour like 3 barrels of mud on the ground. Because Chindit's operated in the monsoon season. Diane saying, you never have to apologise for having a family, Mel. It's just chaotic with them sometimes. I think the thing is, yeah, the kids have grown up with me doing YouTube. I mean, you know that. You guys who've been on the channel, for a while, you've watched them grow up, And so, I think there's this thing where, to them, me streaming on YouTube is just nothing. It's perfectly normal, and there's no reason for them to act any different or anything like that. So it's just like, sit down, I'll do my shoes here. It's like, you could do your shoes off camera, mate, so, I can pretend and, try and be a little bit professional. And of course, no, I'll just sit down here, it's easier. Willow, for example, my daughter, she feels the need to jump in the chat and then moderate me by WhatsApp. You gotta love it, haven't you? Steve saying it's been quite a while since I managed to catch a live one. Mate, it's been a while since I've been doing them. You know what I mean? I am quite pleased, that I haven't missed one in like a month now. We've had regular shows. Yeah. And so I'm chuffed with that, mate. And it's growing. Yeah. On the channel stuff, things are growing. I'm getting back into it. But also people are re-engaging with the channels. I mean, my latest videos, yeah, their viewers, I mean, the viewer counts are low compared to, where I was, pre-pandemic and stuff like that. But YouTube's telling me that each video is getting like 80% more regular viewers watching and engaging with it, like, 5-6 days after it's been released and all sorts of good stuff. So I'm happy. I'm happy things are rolling. Evolution of Gaming saying, they know your community is chill. Yeah, they know. Bat saying, hi Mel from hospital bed as I need my modelling fix. Get well soon, Bat. Glad you could join us. Right. Moving on to the questions. Remember, the Google Doc is down below, folks. If you've got a question, submit it down below. Right, Sebus is putting one in. Yeah. Not really a question, but I buy cheap skateboard grip tape and it works great for streets and roads. I can certainly see that. See? That's got quite a lovely texture to it. And if you think about it, that's quite a wide strip you can apply and cut. Right, first we've got to make sure we credit this. Seabass. Grip tape for roads. I like that. I like that a lot. Now the real question is, who does it first? Coming to a tutorial on another channel near you. CJ saying, hit the like button, mate. If you're liking it, the link is down below. Tim says, oh no, he takes notes. Yeah, I take notes. Gary's saying he used corkboard for streets. Hey up, I can see how this is going. Alright, let's do this. Come on, Terrainiacs, let's do this. Let's give it a quick blast. I don't want this to become a massive long conversation because we've got more questions to do. Right, what's your go-to material for doing roads? Just short answer in the in the comments. Let's go. Now there's a little bit of a lag between while I say that. Not to say it's YouTube. It's not about who does it first, but about who does it more personable. The fact is, it's absolutely not about who does it first, because whenever anyone thinks that they've done it first, you can always guarantee that there's an older video going back like 15 years on YouTube from someone who does it. I mean, you've got the likes of Mike and the Carl Lumpian and you know, Terrainaholic, you know, the old, you know, the Titans. Right, here we go. Okay, sandpaper, wet and dry paper, painted MDF, cork strips, sandpaper, 3mm. I've never done roads yet. 25 years of hobby and not one road. Yeah, sandpaper, 1-inch cork over 3mm MDF, cork board, sandpaper, cork. JP's saying he uses black felt. That's interesting. Black play foam. Yeah. Cork. Breaks up well for damaged surfaces. Acrylic corks and sand, battle mat style. Yeah, flexibles. Wallpaper. Yeah, we can do cobblestones like that. Texture primer. That's one I haven't... Do you know what? I've got texture primer and it's never occurred to me to use it for a road. Thanks, Tam. Modified bitumen. Jay's saying he's only ever done historical style roads or desert ash ones. He's got to tackle that. Wallpaper. Acrylic cork on teddy bear fur. Yeah. I think we've nailed that. I think the mainstay is most people are still going with either like, you know, we'll go with either cork or sandpaper. But that grip tape and the texture primer, I like those ideas. I do like where that's going. Right. We need to move on because we've got questions to answer. Remember, folks, if you're liking the show, the links are down below. Yeah, make the screen dingle and you put a smile on my face. Now, with regards to go for dancing, because the kids have been bullying me about this. Yeah, we're going to go for dancing on patrons. New patron sign-ups. Yeah. I will no longer dance for money. Well, unless you hit a really big one and you make me upset. Because then it's traditional. Yeah, but Mel will no longer dance for money on the internet. He will dance for patrons. I will celebrate patrons. So, in the future, when I've refigured all the graphics and that sort of stuff, you know, we'll have an update which says, you know, when people sign. And if we get a load of people sign up for Patreon the show, you can make me dance then. Yeah? But other than that, we ain't go for dancing unless we like, you know, big figures. Right. Not to saying, ideas for mosaic tiles on Middle Eastern buildings? Yeah, any suggestions for achieving the look? I would print them, yeah, layer them down, varnish them, yeah, seal them, and then I would apply sand scatter and paint and stipple over the top. Mosaic tile effects. That's how I do it. And that's so good, I'm adding it to the Middle Eastern playlist. I think, I think, right, I think this is going to be a really good playlist, actually. Probably looking at about 6-7 videos, so it's probably going to run for a couple of months. We like where this is going. Right, moving on. Ginger K. Right, Ginger K is saying, working on trees this week, looking for ideas for hand building palm fronds. Dead simple, mate. I've already got a video on that. It is, if you go and watch it, go on to Let's Make Palm Trees. Or Let's Make Palm Tree Terrain in the Let's Make playlist. They're the hand-built ones. Right. No worries not. Glad you found it helpful, buddy. John's saying, I just watched your latest War Games convention show. Could you speak about the demographics of people attending? The people look mostly old, like me, 55. How many young gamers? Right. It's fair to say that of all the War Game shows I've gone to, yeah, Partisan, the attendance was definitely kilted towards the older crowd. There were younger people there. Yeah, I wouldn't say there were many kids there, you know, and the kids that were there tended to be there with, you know, what appeared to be grandparents and stuff like that. But it is an older crowd. That being said, yeah, Partisan is specifically a historical wargaming event. You know, they don't do sci-fi or fantasy stuff. And on top of that, the traders don't bring fantasy and sci-fi stuff. They bring their historical, yeah, sort of products to Partisan, which means even if you're not coming to play or check out the games, yeah, if you're just coming to use it as like a shop day, yeah, then it's only attracting people who are purely interested in buying historical miniatures. And I should explain this to those who are not in the UK and sort of a quirk, and it's different. You see, what I've realised is from going to America and that sort of stuff is a lot of American war game shows, they're a lot more about the gaming, you know, the playing the games, the tournaments, that sort of stuff. For a lot of people in the UK, going to a war game show isn't about going to the show or the games. It's an opportunity to browse the traders, yeah? And so quite often it's very typical at UK war game shows that, you know, you sort of, you'll give it an hour, yeah? And sort of plan to get there for sort of lunchtime, because the morning is just packed with people who turn up. All they want to do is go buy certain miniatures from certain traders. And then as soon as, you know, when I'm turning up to film the convention, yeah, I turn up and I've got it in a stage where I pretty much turn up, you know, an hour or two after the convention opens, because there's no point in me trying to film a convention, yeah, just after it opens, because the buyers pack it out. But come lunchtime, you know, as I'm walking in, you see them all walking out with all their purchases. And it's basically because, you know, you get so many traders in one place and it might be local to them. It's a really good opportunity to just go buy toys for Brits. And so I think with with Partisan and my convention video, yeah, the crowd was older. Yeah, one, it's historical games on the table. Secondly, you know, there's no 40k there. There's, you know, there's nothing. There's no, I mean, you haven't even got sort of the independent, with a lot of the war game shows, what you'll get is the independent sci-fi resellers who do 40k-ish sort of stuff. So you'll get a load of like 40k people coming in and buying bits and, you know, extras from those guys. Yeah, which sort of kills the range, and you didn't get that at Partisan. So there's that little sort of unique twist around it, you know. So you know, I can see why, you know, looking at the show, it appeared, yeah, that's really old, but that's really specific to Partisan. You know, Hammerhead, the show before that, if you go look at that, I didn't film it, but I took photos. It's got a much younger crowd. and it's in exactly the same venue, same place. Yeah, so all the same people could get to it. Yeah, but it attracted a much younger crowd because it wasn't just historical. Whew, that was a talkathon. Jez is saying, if you get useful ideas from Mel or answers to questions, make sure to pop over a like, and if it's really useful, then why not zap him a thanks on PayPal or even join his Patreon. Thank you, Jez. I'm rubbish at that sort of stuff. I'm like, yeah, if you like it, just click the links below. And I feel really awkward about it. Yeah, I should be really like pumping it and that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's why you guys are great at it. Right. Historical events are usually old people's territory. I know, but you know what I mean. That used to be local to partisan. As a kid, I remember the old Napoleonic plays yelling at young people to stay away from the table. Gatekeeping, eh? At its finest. Oh, there's a PayPal. Right, what I'll do is I will do one more question. If you want to add to that, jump on it now. Yeah, and then I'll read them out after that. We still got quite a few questions to go, and we're already at an hour. So I'm just going to keep rolling, guys, if that's good with you guys. Like the old times. I mean, the old show we used to do like about a 90-minute show, didn't we? 90-minute. Yeah, it was rare we only did an hour show. I mean, we've only been doing an hour because I've been sort of, it takes quite a bit to talk for an hour and do this. So, yeah. Right. Mark Lindsay saying, have you ever used LED lighting in any builds? Beyond little flicker candles and stuff like that, no. I noted in your convention video that someone was using them to replicate fire. Yeah. But I'd love to see suggestions for good, easy, affordable techniques that would work in a cyberpunk infinity setting that wouldn't require masses of soldering knowledge and gear. Now, this question's come up a few times, and I think not not this show, but the show before, we actually did a really deep dive into this, I think. Yeah, we talked about all sorts of ways that you can do it, problems and challenges. Yeah. So I don't really want to massively go heavy over because it's one of these topics that it's a Terrainiac topic because I don't really do it, so I'm not speaking from a position of authority. You want to talk about putting grass, rocks, trees, anything like that. Yeah, I can talk the iron legs off a donkey. Yeah, but my electrical use when it comes down to gaming and that is very limited. And so I'm not the man to answer this question. In truth, this is another one of the questions for the Terrainiacs. And what I mean is not in the comments, but actually on the Terrainiacs group. Yeah. JP's like tea lights for barrels for fire barrels for the homeless. Yeah. Yeah, Chris is saying something interesting just off the... Yeah. Yeah, Hammerhead used to be known as sci-fi and fantasy partisan. What I really like is the fact that they run another show called The Other Partisan in October. At exactly the same place. LED lights, keeping it simple is less is more. Battery powered Christmas lights, it's all pre-wired. Mel, you need a Discord channel. I've got one. I set one up. Haven't got a clue how to use it. But there's a Terrainiacs server and everything. Discord is one of those things that I do want to get set up and I do need to work on. But I see it as sort of a distraction from what my main thing was, which was getting back on the channel. But I'm going to put a note in the book because it is something that we need to look into. Tabletop Witchcraft is the go-to person for tutorials on LEDs and smoke effects. There you go then. Tabletop Witchcraft, he does good stuff. So I'll leave it. I'll pass that over. Right. Let's do the shout outs, and then I'm halfway through my questions. Doing rather well. Hey up. I'm getting terrorised. You're not making me cry. Thank you. Okay. Simon, June in the Holy Lands. Yes, we will be doing June in the Holy Lands. Jez, buy more milk in a bigger glass. I might as well just get the 4-pinter and just stick it on the table. A little something to cover what you didn't get over lockdown, mate. I hope it's useful. From John H. Yeah, that's quite a bit, mate. That's quite a bit. You get right. No. Right, I need to top up my milk. We will be go for dancing at the end of the show. Thank you. Right. Right, I'm back. No, you didn't get me. No. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Right. It's like a chink in your armour. Once you sort of, it's like, you feel like vulnerable now. It's like, no, let's focus on this. Right. Callisto. Yeah? Same thing. That can't be Callisto. Right. What material would you suggest for building a water base for a large water elemental figure? I don't want it to be clear. It will be painted. Milliput. If you don't want it to be clear and it's going to be painted, use something like Milliput. Yeah, simply because you can sculpt it and you can sculpt your wave patterns. I do that with beaches and stuff like that, and simple water effects, because it is just a matter of just, using clay shapers and just getting simple ripples. Yeah. So when it comes down to sculpting water effects for painting, use a sculpting putty. Yeah. If you want a really simpler way of doing it, a quicker way, so say you've got a lot of models to do, I would actually recommend, and I covered this in the 50 Shades of Basing, I would actually recommend using a ceiling stucco like Artex and stipple it with a palette knife. Yeah, because our ceiling stuccos are really good at holding their shape, and if you stipple it, you get really nice little choppy waves. It works rather well. Yeah, so if you want to go perfect and it's a figure and it's a feature piece, yeah, sculpt it with with green stuff or Milliput or some sort of modelling putty. If you want a quick one for doing lots of bases, stipple with Artex, mate. Jez is saying, is that a YouTube cushion? Do you know? Yes. This is my YouTube cushion. It was from my children. Do you know why I have a YouTube cushion? So Cash later is saying, because I have worn out this chair. Literally. A couple of years it took me. Right. Right. Hinterberger Games. Any tips or techniques for using plastic foliage or particular go-tos for quick landscaping? Already covered this earlier in the show. You know, the idea of, we covered where the best plastic foliage is, those hanging balls. Make sure you give them a quick wash. Putting on and giving them an acrylic wash afterwards with like a brown or something like that to, just knock them back a bit works. I'm not going to go too heavily into that one because we've already covered it. Right. 9 of 14. Alright, just let me make sure that... Right, are they the same people or are you guys trying to break me? Same people, I think. Yeah. Ha! I know what you lot are like. It's like you smell blood in the water and it's like, he's vulnerable. Now is the time. No. See, I'm holding strong. Still got to dance. See, you get me? No, I'm not even going to talk about it. Right. Oh, here we've got a good one. No worries, Callisto. Right. If you're only allowed to forever make all your future terrain from a single material, MDF, 3D resin, polystyrene, DAS clay, and nothing else except glue and paint. Now I'm going to assume that we're allowed flocking materials as well, because they're a generic thing. Yeah, what would you pick? Polystyrene. That's what I'd pick. Yeah. Okay, here's why. Yeah. MDF terrain. There's loads of people who are quite happy spending their lives, working with just MDF terrain. Yeah, you can do that. But you're gaming in buildings, aren't you? Okay. 3D resin. Okay, 3D resin. What we're basically talking is like 3D, like resin casts, or at the same time, generically, we're talking 3D prints, aren't we? At the same time, because it's essentially a finished piece. There's no building. You buy the piece essentially. Yeah. So yeah, people are already doing that. DAS clay, that's more of, for me, that's more of a groundworking material, detailing material. I can't build a hill out of DAS clay. But what I have proven over time, you give me polystyrene, I can build a hill. I can build a tree out of polystyrene. Yeah, I can build buildings. So if I was only, and this is from Great Night Gaming, if I was only left with one core material to build with, exactly what I started this hobby with over 3 decades ago. Give me that gorgeous you've got to remember, you're talking to someone who can cut, and sand expanded bobbly polystyrene so much that he can trick people into thinking it's a resin cast. Yeah, and I'm being serious on that because I posted finished pictures of my trench system, that modular trench system we did, and the bunker on it was expanded foam that I'd cut and sanded, and everyone thought it was a resin cast. And then I was like, nope, on this 40k forum, and I nope, I did that by hand. I mean, I didn't even use a hot tool on it. That was done with a blade and sandpaper. So yeah, if it comes down to you've only got one material to build with, give me polystyrene. You don't even have to give me the fancy XPS stuff. Yeah, give me that bobbly stuff. I've spent 3 decades making terrain out of that stuff. You wouldn't believe what I can do with it. I mean, really, you wouldn't believe the stuff I can do with bobbly polystyrene. You ever seen bark texture done out of bobbly polystyrene? Right, that's it. How would you make small washing lines for your Burma build out of polystyrene? Oh, stop being pedantic. The same way I'd make cups out of polystyrene. It's garnish. We're allowed to use toothpicks. But if it comes down, If it comes down to one core material, I'm going with polystyrene. I've seen film castles, standing stones and all things made out of polystyrene over the past few years. It's a great material for any scale. It is. Oh, here we are, crash of the kids.
Hello. The lab with Reese.
Straight through, lads.
Yeah.
It's half term over here in the UK, which means the kids are on holiday. So, Big Cook and Little Cook have turned up. I've been proposed to make a series of mythological scenarios to create Atlantis as a board game, but I don't know how to make an antediluvian world. I'll look at Terraria, and I know the Sahara well. We're at 50 miles from the Canary Islands, but I imagine a world of dinosaur pyramids and everything mixed together. Dude, what you need to do is go and watch a series called Dinotopia. That's got you covered. Right, I am moving on. I am locking the dock now. Yeah, because I've still got quite a few questions. John McCleary's Ghost. I brought some bamboo and some palm trees. Hey up, here we go. I know about jungle bamboo and desert for palm trees, but what other types of basin materials can I use under these things without getting laughed at? Can I use rough sand texture with the bamboo, or should the ground always be smooth or leafy like your Burma build? It's earth. Bamboo's a weed. It's essentially like a grass. Yeah, so you're looking at a mulch, mate. Yeah. You see, I don't want to say it won't grow in sand because I don't actually know. Yeah, but I would always put some sort of like foliage down. Yeah, leafy. I would go heavily more brown than like putting it over grass and stuff like that, because there's bamboos. As I understand it, it's like an invasive weed. You know, although you get one shoot, it's all one plant structure, and it sucks all the nutrients and everything out of the ground, meaning that nothing else really grows where bamboo grows. Or that's my understanding. So you wouldn't really have bamboo with grass. That wouldn't go. But you would have mulch, you would have dead plant matter, earth I'm going for. CJ is saying there's Dinotopia books and they're large format and gorgeous. The reason why I say Dinotopia, and I'm just going to step out and go and get one of the reference books now, because as we're jumping very quickly back to this in the comments, so I just want to show. Right, these are the books I'd like to show you. These are books by James Gurney, yeah, and they're really good. I learned a lot from them. Colour and Light, Guide for the Realistic Painter, and Imaginative Realism, yeah. But this is the guy who created all the drawings and stuff for Dinotopia. And I don't really, so, reference work like that. So if you're into that look, if you go, yeah, I would recommend go check this guy out. Yeah, I really would. Right there. Whew, complete tangent there. Right. Right, so let's carry on. So yeah, with regards going back to the bamboo, I would go like my Burma build, mate. But above all, I think you should avoid putting it on anything grassy. Right. Have you tried using clear coat for this from John? Have you tried using clear coat for water? No, Not clear caulk. Yeah, I've used clear silicon sealant. I was thinking a layer or layers of clear caulk for thickness, then glossy lacquer over the top. What say you? Yeah, that'll work fine. Absolutely fine, mate. I think we did a terrain lab on it a while back, if memory serves. JP's saying, tangent away, Mel. The thing is, it's not really tangent in a way, yeah, because, I mean, this show's pretty, we've got that many tangents. It might be the equivalent of the Star of David. You know, we go one direction, and it's like, oh, someone says something in the comments in a completely different direction, then we're back a different direction, then we're back somewhere else, and then we get back on topic. Duncan saying, are you interested in coming along to the UK Games Expo next weekend? I'm not sure. Yeah, last time I went to Games Expo was the first time, yeah, and it was heaving. I'll be honest with you, I haven't got tickets, I haven't made plans or anything like that. Now, the other thing is, yeah, it's been asked by this guy, Duncan. Now, Duncan, I've not seen his name in the comments before, so I don't know if this is someone from Games Expo formally inviting me, or just a casual comment. Yeah, so I'd like to, I think. I might, I don't know. I don't know what the wargaming side and the terrain side's grown like. I mean, with the very first year, it was just a corner. You know, it was very much board games and it was packed. Yeah, it was a good day, but, you know, it wasn't really my bag. But I've heard that it's grown since then. So I don't know. Right. JP, what do you think is the best way to represent stucco? Smear wall filler on the fingers, mix sand and paint together. I think if you want to replicate, I mean, you got to remember, we use stucco, yeah, to replicate things like waves and stuff like that. So you're now asking to model stucco at scale. If I was going to do it, texture paste, really fine texture paste, mate. Because if you think about it, I mean, I've got a stuccoed ceiling. And if you don't know what a stuccoed ceiling looks like, it looks like that. Yeah. I mean, the highest of those peaks have got to be perhaps 6-7 mil. And you want to represent that texture at scale? I'm the bloke who asked Luke to build the bot action board. I've been invited to attend and wondered if you'd like a ticket. Hit me up by email, mate. Let me see what my plans are. I don't want to commit right now because it's literally like live and everything, you know what I mean? Yeah, but I wouldn't mind catching... Is Luke coming? Is there a chance to catch up with Luke? Dude, hit me up by email. But yeah, right, going back to stucco. Smear, paint, that sort of stuff. Right, question 13 of 14. I've got to check the PayPals and I owe you a dance. JP's asking, castles were generally lime washed and plastered. Why do we persist in making them bare stone? Because if we made them what they actually looked like and how colourful they were, people laugh, they wouldn't think they were castles. Just like if we made trees the proper scale, yeah, people would think they were bizarre. The fact of the matter is we've got used to castles looking like stone brick buildings because that's the ruins we look at. And it's been used in wargaming that much and in movies. I mean, you've got to remember, when do you see Hollywood do a movie where a castle isn't bare stone? And like you say, they weren't. Do you know what I mean? They were plastered. I think in medieval history, the only castle I can really think of, yeah, which wasn't plastered, yeah, was Carnarvon Castle. And that's because the decoration was done out of decorative brickwork on it. I mean, that's because they went really fancy with the brickwork. Do you know what I mean? So, I think a lot of them with the castles and that sort of stuff. Yeah, Bruce is saying, when do you see Hollywood do a movie with the colourful tabards? Yeah, I mean, as far as as Hollywood is concerned, it was dead simple. In medieval times, if you had money, you dressed in black and armour, and if you didn't have money, you were basically caked in mud. And actually, medieval people were quite clean. You know, they were quite prestigious about being clean and that sort of stuff. So, you know, in wargaming, we're following what people expect to see, not what it really was, if you know what I mean. Right. Last question. We are 1 hour and 20 minutes into a show, which is a record for us. Airbrushes, indispensable, useful. What's an airbrush? Okay, an airbrush is basically a tool that uses compressed air from typically a small compressor, to fire a high pressure stream of air that carries a very thin coating of paint and allows you to apply a very smooth, very fine and graduated and very dry, quick way of coating and painting things up. Yeah, I would say if you're doing terrain for anything more than just your own hobby, indispensable. So if you're knocking it out for a club, anything like that, just the sheer coat of how quickly you can get a base coat down that will dry so you can move on with the project. It can be used for sealing and stuff like that. But I didn't get into airbrushing until I became the terrain tutor. Yeah, and I didn't and only sort of halfway through being the terrain tutor. I haven't really needed an airbrush for the decades of terrain building I did as a hobby before that. So I'm not going to say they're indispensable, but I'm going to say if you're looking at doing terrain in any sort of volume beyond sort of hobby, then yeah, an airbrush is definitely indispensable. Because time, when you're making lots of terrain, time becomes an issue, and airbrush just reduces it. Right, and that was question 14 of 14. Ta-da! We did it! Right, one quick check. Make sure I'm not missing anyone. I don't think I am. Right, show. If you like the show, the links are down below. No, I'm not missing anyone, but I do owe you a bit. Go for dance. So we'll do it to your rapturous applause of hell yes. If you've enjoyed the show, the links are down below. But right now, I need 10 tats from you. 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah. And it's my turn to put a smile on your face. Right, go for dance. For all of you who've not been here for a while, it's been probably a couple of years since we've done one of these. Have you seen Caddyshack? You kids! You shut up as well, you... Oh, here we go. Thanks for a great show, folks. Video out on Tuesday. I'll catch you soon. All the best, yeah? Ta-da.